Merchants in downtown Hagerstown fled, and in Sharpsburg, farmers secured their operations the best they could. The start of the Civil War had an air of novelty to it, but by the spring of 1862, people started to realize how brutal the conflict was becoming. In 1862, as the months clicked down to a Washington County Civil War battle that was so deadly, so ghastly, that nothing has come close since, people in Sharpsburg for the first time began to feel a clear and present danger about what was to unfold. 150 years ago, when Union and Confederate forces clashed on September 16, 1862 in the Battle of Antietam, the fighting was so intense that 2,200 men had either been killed or wounded within the first 20 minutes. By 10 a.m., 10,000 were dead or wounded. By nightfall, 23,000 had been killed, wounded, or listed as missing. As the battle neared, farmers went to stay with family members while others huddled in churches, caves, and cellars. Over 100 people were held up in this house, the Kretzer House, a stone house that still sits on South Main Street today. Farms were scattered across what would become Antietam battlefield. And before the conflict, farmers were involved in ordinary chores and were enjoying a good growing year. Among the farms was this one, the Joseph Poffenberger farm. By September, Joseph's farm was nearly full. Large stacks of straw towered above the barnyard. The little orchard trees around his house had produced well, and Mary Ann Poffenberger had filled the shelves of her cellar with apple, peach, and plum butter, barrels of pickles, and preserves of all kinds. Hundreds of pounds of smoked meat hung in the storehouse, and there was even a barrel of whiskey on hand. Soon, hundreds of soldiers, part of Major General Joseph Hooker's First Corps, arrived on Poffenberger's farm on September 16, 1862. Hooker made his headquarters on Poffenberger's farm, and Union troops rummaged through the farm's buildings looking for food. When the battle was over, things were grim on Poffenberger's farm. I returned to my house. It was completely empty. I had nothing left. I lived on crackers that I found on the battlefield for 5 days, Poffenberger said. With destroyed crops, stolen livestock, burned fences, and excessive cost of farm, farmers in the county faced tough times after the war. Farmers could file claims for war damage to their farms, but it was a cumbersome process to get paid. They had to prove their loyalty to the Union before they could get paid, and they had to prove that the damage was caused by Union forces. Poffenberger filed a claim for the damage to his farm, but he died, never seeing a dime to the damage that was done to his farm. Reporting for the Herald-Mail on HMTV 6, this is Dave McMillion.